Stage. A lot of marriages break during that stage, drama stage. And if you don't deal with it, you can go to 50 years marriage and still be in drama. I remember once a couple that came to see me. When we talked on phone, I didn't think they were very old. But when they came, I realized they were in their late 70s. They've been married over 50 years, and they are still in drama. You know, we get into the office and the lady is telling me, he almost killed me last week. Right? He killed me. And he wanted to strangle me. And I'm thinking, why are you trying to kill someone who is about to die? In your late 70s. Now you're going to go to prison for nothing. But they're still fighting. And in the office they're saying, do you remember what you said 35 years ago? It's what you said about my mother. What you said about me, and they have never resolved the conflict. I think for us all as Christians, it's not just conflict resolution, it's conflict transformation. It's conflict transformation. So let me ask you a question. Should we have conflict now that we are Christians? Yes. You don't think conflict is a result of sin? Yeah? We should have conflict, right? It's healthy, yeah? So I think the question is, both Christians and non-Christians have conflict. This is a difference. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? When you're not born again, you come at it from the flesh. It's about me and what you have done against me. When you're a Christian, then you go beyond that and you realize, yes, you need to deal with the fallenness that we have, but you go further than that. Yeah, so as Raf said, we do a few programs and we have done Man Enough with someone. Yeah, I found a couple, discussing the other day. Brother Ruto is a man of God. And the kind of conflict which was there, I just quickly ran away. Because there are two different opinions. And you could tell nobody is about to let go of their opinion. Huh? And there's some opinions, even if you win, how does it help? Huh? There are those conflicts which are not necessary, as we will get back to. It doesn't change anything if you win. Conflicts many times come out of arguments. That everybody holds their. You begin to argue and voices go up. Voices go up. When we teach parents, we should tell them, you never need to shout at your children, not to raise your voice. That doesn't help. Because you're modeling for the children that the way to resolve a conflict is to raise your voice. And then you win. You overwhelm the other person, they keep quiet, and then you win. And that is very wrong. Huh? And unfortunately, in many relationships, it comes out of arguments, very loud and deep arguments. How many of you belong to the debate club? Let me see. In high school. We had debate clubs. Huh? You won debates very well. And you, sir?
Definitely, all of them. Yes.
I hope you don't do that at home. Sometimes you can win a debate and lose a relationship. Huh?
Yes.
So, conflict. Huh? Now, some facts about conflict. You're writing some notes? Yes. Go quickly now that I cannot. SP. Is this disrespectful? You might put this here. Once I have your permission, what Bundi says doesn't matter. Okay, thank you. Mama, I hope that's okay.
Very okay.
Yeah. Number one, conflicts are expected in relationships. In fact, a relationship without conflicts, it means something is wrong. There's too much bullying, there's a dominant partner over another, and that's why they don't talk. But it's healthy to see that there are conflicts in relationships. And it's not just marriage alone, it's in other relationships. Even as a pastor, I expect you as an elder to be able sometimes to say, SP, I like what you're saying, but this is how I see it differently. Otherwise, if you're always a yes person, then you're not really needed in that relationship. You want someone who can also give you a different opinion. So it's not just in marriage. Number 2, conflicts help us grow. They help us grow. Spiritually, socially, and relationally. Conflicts actually help us grow. You grow in humility. You grow in empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of another person and seeing the perspective that you are not seeing. It reveals who you are. We are so fallen that sometimes we don't realize it until in conflict. And to me, that was a revelation. When my wife says, "You've been bullying me," I thought I was the most peaceful man that ever existed. But what she said, Dan, it gave me a revelation of myself again. And I realized, okay, yeah, I need to deal with that. So it makes you grow by making you know more yourself. Know yourself. But also conflicts, if they are not confronted or dealt with or resolved or transformed, then they begin to hurt the relationship. They begin to hurt the relationship. A lot of marriage problems are unresolved conflicts. Can I say that again? A lot of marriage problems are just unresolved. Excuse me. They're just unresolved. Was this mine or yours? Oh, this is mine. So, mine is up. So a lot of marriage problems or marital problems are just unresolved conflicts. That means if a conflict can be resolved, the problem will disappear. Right. Now, men generally become more aggressive when it comes to conflict. Generally. There are many exceptions. They become more direct in terms of the way they speak, generally. And when they cannot be direct or when they feel like they are not being listened to, they usually retreat into a cave. A lot of marriages I've talked with that are ending, like people are just giving up. And by that time, the man is quiet, he doesn't talk. He doesn't say whether the food wasn't served, he doesn't say what didn't happen, he just keeps quiet. When men feel they're not being listened to, they keep quiet. And they go into a cave a lot of times. And they're quiet, but things are not good. Now, women take that to mean things are good when they're not talking. But men just take it differently. They'll fight in the first few months and speak what they think they are trying to communicate, then they give up, and they keep quiet. And I found myself doing that at some point. I had to talk to myself, to work up and talk. But I found myself beginning to resent my wife, slowly. Because she was doing some things and I wasn't talking anymore, and she doesn't think there's anything wrong. So internally, I'm resenting her, and she's not aware. She's not aware. Hey, naniangalia vibaya, like Mario Sina. You do that sometimes. Just agree so that I don't So I have to tell myself I need to speak out. And some of us is personality. Some of our personalities, we don't like conflicts. We like staying away from it. And then some other conflicts, conflict is oxygen. How many of you don't like conflict? Usually try to run away from it. How many of you enjoy conflict?
Arsenal fans.
Like that. Bring it on. come. Where are you going? Let's talk. Don't go to bed.
Twende nalo.
And the man is trying to run away. Now,